Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhu pevacha patetanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. This is Sanitha Ramya from Sharjah. We welcoming all of you to this mid-morning session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Hare Krishna. So, and today's session will be given by His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhu. And before moving on to the session, I would like to know who are all present on the call today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Hare Krishna. Welcome
Hare
to the
Krishna.
call.
All glories to your services, Mataji.
All glories to all your wonderful services, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru and Gauranga Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else who would like to introduce?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Anita Mataji, for your warm welcoming, and thank you, Sunil Prabhu, for the very beautiful recitation. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Thank you so much for all your wonderful services, Mataji. And thank you so much for engaging us also in all those services, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Varija Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. And yeah, you're joining from Mumbai, right? So this is the first time you're joining, Mataji? Since you cannot unmute, you can type it in the chat box if you're joining for first time or how it is. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My name is Soundarya Mataji. I am from Canada, Toronto. Please accept my humble obeisance. All goes to Prabhupada, all goes to Guru and Gauranga. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Soundarya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Are you joining first time, Mataji, or you have been joining?
I was there before, but somewhat I got disconnected. I couldn't. But now this class I can be able to attend. So this
Hare
time is
bol.
very
Please
good.
give us your association, Mataji. Yeah. Krishna won't leave. If you join once, then again we will not leave. Krishna won't leave, and Bhakti Sangha also will not leave. Keep
Thank you,
joining, Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your supportive. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else who would like to introduce?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada Silakurudev Vijay Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Harija Mataji. We also wish to continue your association. Please keep joining us. Every day we have Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Bhagavat classes. Please keep joining, Mataji. So you're joining from Mumbai, right? So you can join our group and you can get the updates for everyday classes. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself, Matajis and Prabhujis. Hare
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna Mataji. My humble obeisances. आपको सभी माताजी के चरण में दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी. माताजी मैं स्नेहल राठी from Charlotte से माताजी.
Hare Krishna, Snehal Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Beautiful Vaishnava picture on your DP, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Thank you for your association, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you so much.
Was it first
Mataji,
time or you keep joining?
no, Mataji, this is my first time which I
Oh, Hari
joined.
Bol. Welcome, Mataji. Keep joining. You're there in our group.
In Bhakti Sangha group, I am there, Mataji.
Okay, then you will be getting the updates every day to all the devotees also. I'm saying if you're not there in the group, so please join the group. You'll be getting the updates every day for Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavat classes. And apart from that, we have various classes going on Bhakti Sangha. So you can keep joining and relish the association of the devotees and the Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call once again, Mataji. Snehal Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, one question. Like you have Chaitanya Charitamrita classes?
Chaitanya Charitamrita classes has been done from our means from on Bhakti Sangha Mataji. We have the recorded classes. You can on YouTube, so you can watch there, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
This is
Krishna.
Chaitanya Bhagavat for your information, Mataji.
Yeah.
The current series
This
is
is
Chaitanya.
Chaitanya Bhagavat class, Mataji. So yeah, as Mataji is saying, this is Chaitanya Bhagavat classes. Chaitanya Charitamrita classes was over. You can join on, means you can hear on YouTube, and this also you can relish. Chaitanya Bhagavat also you can relish, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the mid-morning session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which will be given by His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhu. But before moving on to the session, I would like to read Prabhupada's quote for today. Okay. So April 14th, Prabhupada has written from Auckland, 1972. This Krishna Consciousness Temple is a hospital for the deceased spirit soul. And everyone is diseased. Come to this hospital. We shall take care of you and cure your material disease. Hari Bol. So such a quote and all only Prabhupada can write. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving us your association. And today's topic will be from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya, khanda, chapter 9, verses from 111. That is 111 to 116. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Welcome everybody to the class on Chaitanya Bhagavat. We are reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Leela, chapter number 9. Like Mataji said, text number 111 to 116. We'll start with the invocation prayers and then we'll go on. Om Ajnanatimirānandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye Tad Bhaktaye Namo Namaha Jayatam Surator Pango Mamondamatir Gati Mat Sarvasvabadam Bojo Radha Madanam Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to the Chaitanya Bhagavat class. We will now share. Yes. Then we'll read the verses. बांधवेर वार्तायेन जिज्ञासेन बांधवे कहा बंधु सभा की कुशले आचे सबे. A person sometimes inquires from his friend, please tell me, are our friends doing well? कुशल शब्देर अर्थ व्यक्त करिबारे भक्ति आचे करी वार्तालयेन सबरे. But the Lord revealed the actual meaning of the word kushala or well by inquiring whether a person had devotion. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.14, Prithu Maharaj speaks the following words. Bhavatastu kushala prashna atma rameshu nasyate kushala akushala yatra na shanti mati vrittayaha. My dear sirs, there is no need to ask about your good and bad fortune because you are always absorbed in spiritual bliss. The mental concoction of the auspicious and inauspicious does not exist in you. In his Bhagavad Tatparya commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 1.14.34, Madhvacharya quotes the Naradiya Purana as follows. Ati uttamam kushala prashna loka sukha ichchaya nityat pada sukhatvad tunatesham yuchayate kvachid. Exalted persons inquire about people's well-being to make them happy. Otherwise, they are not too concerned about the happiness of their own people. In his Bhagavad Tatparya commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.26, Madhvacharya quotes the Padma Purana as follows. Lokanam sukha kartvatvam apekshya kushalam vibho prachete satanandad katam tasyev prachete. Inquiries about people's well-being are made to make people happy. That is why they are always done joyfully and relationship to the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.23.26, it is stated, Nanvadamai kurvanti kushalaha swartha darshina haituki avyaktinam bhaktim atma priyeyatam. Certainly, expert personalities who can see their own true interest render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service directly unto me, for I am the most dear to the soul. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12, it is stated, Yasyaste bhaktir bhagavatir kinchana sarvair gunair tatra samashate sura arava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratane asati davato bahi. In one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifested. However, one who has no devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualification because he is engaged in the mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. So we'll first discuss these two verses and then we will go ahead. Before that, let me see if I can project the presentation. See if it is here. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay. This will take some time. So let's just first set the context, and by the time I think I can download it. So we are seeing the 9th chapter, where we have already discussed in the previous lectures that we are talking about the pastimes where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Nilachal in Puri, and he is visited by many devotees from Navdeep. And we also saw that how Advaita Acharya and his wife bought a lot of different eatables and everything from Mayapur, and ultimately they were able to prepare a wonderful meal, and how Advaita Acharya invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he personally fed him. We also saw after that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is visiting the homes of many, many devotees, and we are seeing the discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Damodar, who had gone to Navdeep. He had visited Sachimata and he has come back. And when he came back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him, "Does my mother have devotional service?" And the devotee was shocked to hear this. He said, "How are you inquiring this? Any devotional service you have, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is because of your mother. And your mother is exhibiting all the symptoms of pure devotional service, like, perspiring, the hairs are standing at an end, and she's having ecstasies. She's exhibiting all the symptoms of pure devotional service. In fact, it is your mother whose name is devotional service. Okay? So, how is that you are inquiring that does my mother have devotional service? There is, this is an astonishing inquiry. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he became very ecstatic. He embraced the devotee and he said that, "Oh, I am so happy to hear what you are saying is right. If I have devotional service, that is because of my mother. And any devotional service I have actually received from my mother. And I'm so happy that you have confirmed the fact now." And then he repeatedly embraced the devotee. Now, after this is when we are seeing these slokas, which after this conversation has happened, then the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking these questions is being revealed, wherein it is said that sometimes in the 111 sloka, it is said that sometimes friendly inquiries happen. And this is something we have seen all around the world. Wherever you go in the world, you will see people asking, "How are you? Are you doing well?" And then, "Kaise ho?" Uh, uh, and various cultures, people inquire. And usually we say, "Oh, I'm fine. Thank you very much." And it's a kind of a very nice inquiry that happens. And then people also say this very nicely that, oh, I am very well, and then move on in life. This inquiry in itself is a bit of a farce in the material world, because nobody is really happy in the material world, but everybody says, I am fine. When we initially came to Krishna consciousness, one of the preachers used to say this story of how people are asked, are you fine? And how people reply, I am fine, right? He used to say a story where, they used to say that one day a big circus, very famous, they advertised so much that this is the biggest circus that has ever happened in the town. And they came to that particular town. They put up a very big circus tent and entry and all of that. And they said, this is the best that has happened. There was so much marketing. So everybody in the the town wanted to see the circus, right? And then what happened is that first everybody from the town gathered around the circus. They said first only VIPs. So the super VIPs, the very rich people, I invited them into the circus. First show will be only for VIPs. So when they came in, they made them sit and all of that. Then they saw the tent is fully empty. So then big bodyguard like big people came and started beating up all these VIPs, black and blue. And they had paid so much money to be there in the first show. And it was advertised outside as the best circus ever to have happened. So they got beaten up. And then after 45 minutes, 1 hour, they said, okay, show is over, you go. And when they came out, everybody was asking the same, what is called Kushala Prashna. How was it? How was the show? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? And these VIPs, because they were very proud and it was already advertised that this was the best show, biggest show, they could not say that, oh, we got beaten up inside, because everybody was expecting them to say that this is a wonderful show and they got the privilege of going there first. So they said, oh, very fine, everything is wonderful, and they all went. And similarly, then the next set of people went. Everybody got beaten up, and everybody used to come out and say, oh, I am very fine. Oh, this is very good, this is the best show that can happen. And like that, the entire town got beaten up. And that preacher used to say very nicely that this circus is the circus of the material world. Every day, everybody is getting beaten up. He is facing one or the other problem, he or she is facing one or the other problem. But everybody says, I am fine. And I am fine. And every day there is advertising on TV, on many places, that you take this product, you will be happy. You get married, you will be happy. You go and find a job, you will be happy. You buy this house, you will be happy. You will be fine. You take insurance, you will be fine. So this entire false narrative of we are fine is being propagated, and that is usually the kind of dealings that happens in the material world. Are you fine? Oh, I am fine. But then why is that in Chaitanya Bhagavat, somebody as exalted as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord himself, is inquiring about his mother? And that is what is being explained here, right? Which we will now share the presentation and we will start discussing. 1 minute. Certainly some, yes. Okay, we are here. Facing some issues. Okay, We'll try and continue without this. So the first question that is being asked is this. As you say, 111. You are able to see the Chaitanya Bhagavad text?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm not able to project the PPT, and this is also going all over the place. Are you still able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you and we can see the screen also.
You can see the Chaitanya Bhagavad screen, right? I'm
Yes.
not able to get. Somehow I'm not able to get the screen to unmute. Okay. Just give me 1
You
minute.
can see the
I'll-
full screen, Prabhu.
No, you can see the screen of Chaitanya Bhagavad. I'm trying to present the PPT, but that is not
PPT.
happening. Give me 1 minute. I'll just log out and log in. Okay, let it be. Let's just continue as we are. Okay. So the first part is we discussed that please tell me that are our friends doing well, right? So this is the friendly inquiry we were talking about. Now we will see why is that the Lord has made this inquiry, right? I am audible, correct?
Yes, Prabhu,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yeah. So Kushale Sabder Artha Vyakta Kari Bare Bhakti Ache Kari Varta Layena Sabar. So the Lord, he did not ask the question whether my mother is well. He asked the question that whether my mother has devotion. So here the Lord is revealing the actual meaning that if somebody is kushal, he is well, he is doing well, he or she is doing well, then he can only be doing well if they have devotion. And this is something that is explained here. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is clearly demonstrating that unless one has devotional service, a person cannot be truly well. So at this point, before we go to the Srimad Bhagavatam verse, the question needs to be asked, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of Kushal, right? And what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mean that only when you have devotion, you can be happy? So if that is the first question, we are going to discuss this entire set of verses in 4 questions. So the first question is, what is the meaning of Kushal? And why is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that only if you have devotional service can you be Kushal? Can somebody answer that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I'll try. Kushal means saying that I'm doing well, means like I'm happy. So that happiness for the soul is only spirituality. Only when you give the spiritual means like devotion service unto the Lord, then the soul will be happy. Unless until it hears the Krishna Katha or association with devotees, all those things happens, then the soul will be happy. So that's how
Okay. Okay, very good. So what you're saying is uh, the actual happiness of the soul is in devotional service, and when he hears spiritual Krishna Katha and everything, that is when the soul will be happy. Fair? Anybody else has anything else to say?
Prabhuji, this world is dukhalam ashashvatam. There is no pleasure, Prabhu. If Kushalam means you can be happy only when you're in Krishna consciousness, otherwise suffering.
Yes, also very nice. That if one is in this material world itself is a jail. So there is no question of asking, are you comfortable in the jail? The jail is made as a place where there is no comfort, right? So one cannot be, one cannot be happy in the jail. So there is no question of Kushal Prashna. So only when one is completely away from the jail, outside the jail, can one be happy. Okay, that is also a very nice answer. Anything else?
Prabhu, it's the eternal happiness for the soul. Instead of means like for the soul, the devotional service will be the eternal happiness because the material happiness is just temporary, right? So it comes and goes. Everything it's dual. It's duality.
Yes.
The way we live in this material world. So the original happiness, the eternal happiness, is only to devotion service.
Correct. So the eternal happiness is actually devotional service, and everything else is just, is duality. And that is also a very nice thing that has been said. Okay, very nice. So now if I say that all of you are chanting and hearing Katha, you are hearing Chaitanya Bhagavat, you are doing devotional service, now, and not only you, many devotees are doing that, but it is usually seen that devotees are not in a very happy state or in a very nice condition. So why is that? And some devotees might actually say that, oh, I am actually suffering. So why is that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The devotees have the knowledge that they are the eternal servant of Krishna. Their constitutional position is being the servant of Krishna. And this is just a temporary kind of phase of life that they have been given to utilize to get back to their eternal position. Right? Hence, they know that all this, whatever they're experiencing, this is temporary and they need to look at for their eternal position. So that's the reason they know the truth. They are aware of this absolute truth. So that's why they're not able to enjoy or they don't even have any, expectation of enjoyment in this material world because they know the truth. They have that gyan.
Yes, because they have the gyan that this is not the original place and they don't have the expectation of enjoyment. So they see this as a temporary situation and hence they are not affected by the situation. Is that what you're saying? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very well. That is also a nice answer. That is why you are seeing here now. These are all very wonderful answers. Now you will see that most of the things that you guys have said are very wonderful. For example, this is duality, and in duality there is always good and bad. And in a jail there can be no happiness. And when you know the true position, that you are not part of this material world and you are temporary, then you don't get involved in this entire truth, right? However, it can still be, if I have to persist with the question, it can still be asked that sometimes you see devotees are not happy. Sometimes you see that devotees are in trouble. Sometimes you see that devotees are in situations which are, shall we say now, there is war going on in very horrible situations, right? So they have devotional service. They are doing devotional service. And then why are they not kusha?
Hare Krishna,
Why are
Prabhu.
Because they still feel this is the
They have
arrangement
a
of the Lord.
they
They
feel it's
still
a
feel it is because of the arrangement of the Lord they're going through this, and they'll really not get affected. They may feel so, but internally they are not really affected because they feel that this is a plan of the Lord and they go as per his plan.
That's
Because
also very
there's
nice.
that knowledge, right? They also know that while their karmic reactions have been kind of subdued, but still there is some prarabdha. They wouldn't kind want to blame the external situation, rather they would blame themselves in terms of their prarabdha. Otherwise, I mean, if they have this gyan, so they're situated in that particular aspect. Though they
Yes.
might not show it, express it, or show it externally,
Correct.
Prabhuji. Sorry
Correct.
for my, if I'm wrong, please excuse me, Prabhuji.
No, you
I'm
are
sorry.
you're
Hare
saying
Krishna.
very correct. There is no wrong answer in this discussion. There is never a wrong answer. Everybody is saying, I'm just trying to churn because there are a few things that we will go deep into. So I'm just trying to churn. So this is very wonderful. Yes, what you're saying is correct. If you are in that knowledge that this is temporary and it is actually my prarabdha getting this thing, then you could be completely detached and you could not be affected. So that is correct. Somebody was saying something else.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Prabhuji, we have Sudhakar Prabhu. You want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry.
Hare
The question actually you asked initially about the Kushalam, right? I was just only wondering, or my perspective may be correct me wrong. There is a difference between the Kushalam and happiness, right? Like, Kushalam is something what I think is something like comfort. Is not a true happiness. You can comfortable position, but you may not be happiness. From the material perspective. Maybe from the soul perspective, Kushalam, Anandam also maybe, I don't know. I was just contemplating like that. Since it could be like you are in a comfort zone, but you may not be truly happy.
You might not be truly happy. Yes, there are people in the material world who are in a comfort zone but are also not happy. So that is also correct. Yes. Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Correct.
Prabhu, your voice is breaking, but Prabhu, I am the neophyte devotee, but I don't know whether I am saying wrong or correct. If something is wrong, please apologize me. Also, Mataji explained that Sanjaya Karma and Prarabdha Karma, it is also there. And in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated very clearly that the miseries comes in the way of three types. That is like Adi Bhaudika, Adi Atmika, Adi Devika. So we have to accept that, Prabhu, whether it's not happy or as we say that if Krishna's plan, give it to him. It's good or bad, give it to him. That's what the good yogi. Like yogi is always in a state of good mind. They never bewildered. They never get angry.
Correct. Very nice. Very nice. So the yogis get never angry. They are always in the very nice. That's a very good point. Very good point. So now if I personally ask you, each one of you, that when an unfavorable circumstances comes, do you really feel bad? Do you really feel bad? Or even in unfavorable circumstances, now some places there is war, some places there is some other, there are some places no electricity, and some places very much something happens. Some people are losing money, some people are losing health. All of this is happening in this material world. So when these unfavorable circumstances happen, do you really feel detached? Do you really feel that you are in a well position? And are you able to really fathom what you've just spoken, which is that this is just my karma and this is a place of duality. So I should be internally happy.
We do feel bad, but we also understand that it is because of the karma people are gathered and they have to suffer as per their previous karma. But we do feel bad as a human. It is difficult to watch someone suffer.
Yes, that is also Vaishnava is very compassionate, so they feel very bad. They feel very troubled when they see other people in trouble. So that is also very correct. Now, here, just to go deeper into this aspect, here it is said, and this we will use this first verse to explain this. Prithu Maharaj says that there is no need to ask about your good fortune or bad fortune. because you're always absorbed in spiritual bliss. The mental concoction of the auspicious and inauspicious does not exist in you. So this is a very wonderful statement. When the mind is absorbed in the material reality, then the mind will automatically perceive good and bad. The duality will always be there. And according to the mind perceiving good and bad, it will either feel sorrowful or it will feel happy. It will have the dual reaction to the dual absorption that it is having. Only when the mind is not going outside and it is internally focused and it is focused on the spiritual bliss or focused on Krishna, and the mind completely gets absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord, then it does not perceive this world in duality, and hence, by not perceiving this duality and by being completely absorbed in spiritual bliss, it is indifferent to whatever happens. And in that situation, the mind is always, or the living being is always kushala. It's always doing well because the mind, the material mind, has been withdrawn from the material consciousness and has been completely absorbed in the chitta, or more precisely, in the lotus feet of the Lord. That is when actual kushala happens. So, till then, if we are not completely even if we are devotees, we are practicing devotees, our mind is, if we have some desires, and because of that material desires, and the mind is still going outside, and while it is going outside, it is still absorbed in the material reality, we will come across many unpleasant circumstances which are not kushala, and we might feel sometimes that we are not in a very well situation. And it is possible that our mind feels happy or distressed. Like many people said in the call, because they understand the philosophy, they might be able to use the higher intelligence and say, this is a temporary thing, this is my prarabdha, this is Krishna has given this to me for me to progress further in devotional service. There are various levels of understanding which are very wonderful. And using that higher intelligence, one might be able to cross over the circumstances. However, till the mind is completely absorbed, we do feel happy or unhappy. We do feel that we are well or not well. But in all those circumstances, a person who has devotion is considered to be properly situated because he is at least trying to get his mind to the lotus feet of the Lord, by which he will become completely happy. Or in other words, when the entire world is under a plague, or like we faced COVID-19 situation, or when the entire world is under a plague, so the person who is being treated in the hospital for the plague, though he is not fully fit, he is still considered to be in a better situation because soon he will recover. Whereas the person who is not even admitted to the hospital is going to continuously suffer. So the first thing that is being said is the person who has devotion and who is practicing devotion is certainly either already kushal or on the way to be kushal, so he is properly placed. But who is absolutely kushal is the person who is always absorbed in spiritual bliss. And that is something that we see as the effects of the holy name. You would have learned in Bhakti Shastri, in Nectar of Devotion. What is that? Davagni, right? And Shubhada, right? These are the effects. The first, the fire in the heart, the Davagni is completely pacified. That means the material desires by which the mind will go out is completely pacified. Then you feel that heart cooling down. And after that, then you will get all auspiciousness, right? So the first thing we are learning from this is, unless our mind is absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord, one cannot be completely in the situation that is explained here, completely kushal. But anybody who's even trying to get there is properly situated. So devotees in the practicing stage might come across circumstances which might make them feel bad, but with higher intelligence they get along. That is the first part of the circumstances, right? Now, here, Prithu Maharaj is speaking to the four Kumaras who are completely absorbed. Their minds are completely, you see, from the young age itself, they were never absorbed in the external reality. They were always absorbed internally. So they are saying, he's saying, I don't have to ask you, are you well? Because your mind is already absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. You already smelled the tulsi which is offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. You are completely in that bliss. So you don't know anything about, you know nothing about this material world. You are not affected by it. I mean, you are not affected by this material world. And hence, the duality of auspicious and inauspicious does not exist in you. Right? Is this clear? So who is the person who is Kushal? Kushal means, the etymology of the word is kushala. Kusha is the grass, kusha grass, which you take to do austerities or spiritual practices. And now one who is engaging in those spiritual practices is kushala. One is engaging in spiritual practice kushala, and especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying one who is executing bhakti yoga, one who is doing devotional service, he is actually kushala. So he does not inquire whether his mother is well or not, because the external circumstances of his mother is she is always lamenting, crying, because she is separated from her son. So from a material perspective, it doesn't look like she is kushal. But actually, because she has devotional service, she is in bliss. And that is what this devotee Damodar has confirmed, that actually she is in bliss. So he is inquiring about the devotional service of his mother. Right? Again, in the two other slokas quoted from Madhvacharya says that people who are exalted sometimes inquire about the happiness. We have seen many great sages come and visit the kings and inquire, are you happy? Is your army, all the seven limbs of your kingdom happy? Are they properly situated? This they do not because they are worried whether the king is happy or not, but it is their grace. They are doing this to make the other people feel cared, and by doing so, they are giving their grace and blessings on them. And by those blessings of the saints, they become naturally inclined to devotional service and eventually become completely kusha. So it is said in the next one, these inquiries are being made to make people happy, and they are done in a joyful relationship. And these exalted people, they see happiness only in terms of unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. Ahetuki apratihata yat atma suprasidati. Like somebody said, it makes the soul happy when it is uninterrupted and unmotivated. So here they say that because the expert personalities can see their true interest, and true interest is what? True interest is Nate viduhu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. The true interest is in satisfying Vishnu, or in other words, not anchoring for material things, but serving the desires of the Lord and his devotees and Guru. So by doing so, they become all auspicious. So two things are said in this sloka. First thing that is said is one whose mind is absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord in bliss, he is actually supremely kushal. And for that person, you don't have to inquire whether you're okay or not. It doesn't matter to them. And whenever such inquiries are done by exalted personalities, only to make the material person happy and give their grace. And by giving their grace, they will motivate them for devotional service, because all the expert personalities understand that only when the person starts serving Krishna will he be happy, and that will make his soul really satisfied. Now, in the last sloka, is very beautifully explained. Yasyast bhaktir bhagavati rakinchana sarvair gunais tatra samashade sura. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manoratane asati davato bahi. Manoratane asati davato bahi. When sitting in the chariot of the mind, right? When in the chitta there are material desires, then the mind is, or when the soul wants bhogavancha, it wants to enjoy in this material world, that desire pushes the mind outward to find these pleasures in the material world. That is mano ratane asati davato bahi. It goes into the asat, into this non-real material world, the concoction in material existence. And as long as it is going in the concoction, this material world is designed in such a way that it will always come to trouble. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when or is the second chapter, when Arjuna finds and he's actually lamenting, when he says that all my uh, relatives are here, I won't kill them, and he is in despair. There, Srila Prabhupada writes a wonderful purport that the material world is designed to bring a person to this point, to a point when he completely understands that he cannot neither enjoy it. If he does this also, he will be unhappy. If he does this also, he'll be unhappy. And then he is forced to inquire, what is this material manifestation? Where am I? Why am I in such a terrible situation? So, as long as the mind is going out into this terrible situation, it will always come and end up in a place where there will be miseries. And when there is misery, what happens? Then, like it is said in another place in Bhagavad Gita, the mind doesn't get what it wants, what it is attached to, it will get angry. And from that anger, intelligence is lost. And then many, many things they will do. So all the bad qualities will manifest. So even though a material person externally appears like a gentleman and he is externally working very well, he is still not considered to have in all good qualities because his chitta is still polluted. It is only time, like a pot of water where there is all dirt in the bottom. So though it appears clear on the surface, if you stir it a bit, all the dirt will come up. So it is not is not supposed to be clean water. So similarly, abhakta, one who does not have devotional service, does not have any mahad guna. On the contrary, one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, his mind is absorbed in Krishna's lotus feet. And because of that, he is directed by the words of Krishna and of his devotees. So even though he is from a family of thieves or from Chandala or whatever, he has all good qualities of the demigods because his mind is absorbed in Krishna and is directed by his devotees. So the first sloka is explaining these two very important things, that the mind absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord is actually somebody who is auspicious or who's kushal, and the exalted people ask these questions only for that reason, right? So that is the first part of the thing. Now, in the second sloka and third sloka, it is said, Bhakti yoga takhe tabe sakala kushal, Bhakti vina raj haile ho ammandan. If someone has devotion, then everything is well. But without the devotion, even the position of the king is inauspicious. Among all type of inauspiciousness, the presence of devotional service to the Lord in one's heart, among all types of auspiciousness, the presence of devotional service to the Lord in one's heart is the topmost. Even kings adorned with various signs of auspicious cannot attain auspiciousness like that of the devotees. Worldly supremacy is most insignificant in comparison to devotional service to the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam 12.12.55, it is stated, Avismritihi Krishna Padaravindayoho Shishnoti Abhadrani cha Satam Tanoti Sattvasya Suddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam cha Vijnana Viraga Yuktam. Remembrance of Lord Krishna's lotus feet destroys everything inauspicious and awards the greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart and bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with the knowledge enriched with realization and renunciation. So we have seen so far that the mind absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord is kushal, and that destroys everything inauspicious and awards the greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart, bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, and it also gives knowledge, realization, and renunciation. So the question now is how to absorb the mind in the lotus feet of the Lord, or what is the meaning of mind absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord? Is that something practical? Is that an analogy? Is that a figure of speech? What is it? Can somebody answer? Absorbing mind in the lotus feet of the Lord. What does that mean? Is it something practical? Is it a figure of speech? Is it it just means that you remember Krishna? What does it mean?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Um, we need to, yes, it is practical if we are constantly chanting and we are doing the services at home, doing deity puja, and whatever activities we are doing, we have to keep Krishna in the center. So all the activities that we do around it, it will make me think of Krishna all the time.
Okay. So everything that we do makes you think of Krishna all the time. Okay. Fair. And that means the mind is on Krishna. Okay. Any other answers?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanwal Pranam. It is one's endeavor for unalloyed devotion. It is your own, your own relationship with Krishna. And for that, in this material world, to do what you mentioned, it is one's own endeavor.
Correct. It's one's own endeavor, and one has to endeavor to do that. And everybody has to individually achieve this. That's what you're saying. Correct? Fair?
Yes, Prabhu.
Fair.
Hare
So how
Krishna
do
Prabhuji.
yeah, Hare Krishna.
The very purpose of the sadhana, the sadhaka is practicing is to aim to get absorbed continuously or to be engaged in the absorption of Krishna. So that is the sole aim of the entire Krishna consciousness movement. And that is what the aim, keeping that as the aim is what our Srila Prabhupada has defined or given us the regulative principles and the fully packed sadhana program for sadhakas like us. So
Correct.
definitely it should be practical. And the aim of all our sadhana is to get completely engaged and absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes. Yes. So it is practical, and the aim is to completely, that's why this entire process be given by Prabhupada. Let me just change the question a bit. What does it practically mean when you say that my mind is absorbed in Krishna? How is it done in practice, and what does it practically mean?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, if I do wrong, just let me know that if you observe means you, whatever you do, you think about Krishna, that I am doing for Krishna's pleasure. So your mind will always thinking, just like if you go to buy something outside, you just think about Krishna like that. If you cook for something, you just feel for Krishna like this, Krishna like this. So you do like that. So your mind, your consciousness, always thinking about Krishna all the time. That means absorption
Yes.
in the Krishnas.
Yes, absorption. Okay, very correct. Very nice. Very wonderful. So if I ask the next question, does that mean for everybody on the call that let's say this, when you are chanting, does the mind becomes completely absorbed in Krishna, or does the mind go away to some of the other things? And if it goes away, does it mean we are absorbed in Krishna or not absorbed in Krishna?
Not
No,
observing
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yeah.
Okay. So after practicing, some people are practicing 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. None of us are absorbed in Krishna.
Not actually, Prabhuji. It is because of the conditioning, right? That is what is the challenge the sadhakas like me are facing. See, we're trying, right? See, it's like, as you said earlier, we are getting diagnosed in the hospital. We already got admitted into the hospital. We are getting diagnosed, right? So, and we are
Correct.
taking the medication, and medication will not kind of have an effect immediately, right? It takes its time. Like Prabhupada has given example, right? If a couple gets married, the lady cannot expect to become a mother ASAP, right? It takes its time. There is a process, there is a methodology. But I am already in the track. I've taken the aeroplane, the flight to reach my destination. So I'm on the way. It's work in progress. So that's what I felt, Prabhuji. It is definitely we are practicing and we are trying to get engaged, but we are not completely there because of the conditioning and the anarthas, right? So we are getting diagnosed. Sorry, Prabhuji, if I have said extra, I'm
No,
sorry.
you're correct, very wonderfully said. So we are already in the treatment, and it will certainly, the treatment will be successful in the right time. So now, to go a bit deeper into this is practically observable, right? That whether my mind is going into the material world, is that, for example, I'm chanting, suddenly I have some desire, I'm looking at the phone, I'm seeing here and there, I'm talking to somebody, there is some desire. Unless it is something that your Guru Maharaj has ordered or it is something that you need to do, if it is material, then we can clearly see that my mind is motivated and going externally. So we are in the sadhana process, Ado Siddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, we are doing Bhajana Kriya. So, and we are coming into Sadhu Sangha, hearing and doing all of that. Then slowly what happens is the process of Anartha Nivarti starts to happen. And Anartha Nivarti is not one stage, obviously it continues till you get to Bhava and beyond, till Prema. So the anarthas are getting clear. Now when the anarthas are getting, each anartha, what it does, it is like pressure cooker, it pushes the mind outside. So I do something wrong and the bija of that reaction goes into my heart. And when the bija fructifies, I get a desire, oh, I should go and watch a movie. I get a desire and then my mind starts going outside and I start going and doing that particular activity. But when all these bija, kuta and fla are being cleared, then there is no pressure. It is like a stove which has been almost, the fire is coming down. So the pressure is not there and the mind doesn't get pushed. It starts to get, sometimes it absorbs, sometimes it goes out, sometimes it absorbs, sometimes it, and then it reaches a point when the mind becomes stable. And when that mind becomes stable, in most of the situations, of course, when you're working or you're doing something, the mind still will manifest. When it becomes almost stable, what is that stage called?
Nishta?
Nishta.
Nishta. Yes. Nishta. In Nishta, then, if he wants to do this devotional service, then because the mind is not disturbing too much, mostly the sadhaka will be able to, as defined in Madhurya Kadambini, if he takes an austerity, if he wants to do this many japa, he will almost complete it because his mind almost does not disturb him. Of course, disturb him, but he can very well calm it down. After Nishta, then the mind starts going inside. Then it gets ruchi. When more clearance happens, more anartha nivriti happens. Then when it goes inside, it starts feeling the spiritual pleasure. The first ray of Radharani, first ray of Ahladini Shakti touches in Ruchi. And then the mind discovers something very wonderful. What does it discover? What does it discover? That I can find pleasure by going inside. Till now, it was thinking that if I need pleasure, I have to go out into the material world. Now it suddenly sees pleasure coming from inside. So when you practice more and more in that ruchi, it starts going more inward, and that ruchi becomes asakti. And as I've explained in many lectures, what is the difference between asakti and bhajana kriya? In bhajana kriya, we are chanting and the mind starts going out towards the material manifestation. And in asakti, like it is seen in the pastime of Mukunda Dutt, right? And he was a physician, he was treating the Nawab, and the Nawab was getting white chamar, and then the servant switched to the Morpunk. The moment he saw Morpunk, suddenly his mind got absorbed internally, and he rolled down the steps and fell down. The Nawab woke him up with some water and said, "What has happened to you?" Mukunda did not want to say, I have completely got absorbed. He said, "Oh, I have epilepsy, so I sometimes get these strokes." Then the Nawab said, no, I am a Mohammedan, but don't fool me. I know this is because of the ecstatic symptoms of absorption in the Lord. Now you can go home and you will get double salary. Now, what happened there? Even when he was trying to do an external material thing, when he got an impetus of Krishna, his mind started going internal. Our minds are like this, that if we get one impetus of material world, it will start going out. But in Asakti, the reverse happens. And like that, then in Bhava, when it can see the lotus feet of the Lord, and when the mind starts getting absorbed in the lotus feet, then he is beyond the duality of the material world. And that is what Srila Rupa Goswami is writing. Mama manasa madhukara arpita nija pada pankaja makarande Krishna deva bhavantam vande. Mama manasa madhukara, my bee-like mind, when the bee cannot stay quiet for one moment. It will go from one flower, bring the nectar, go to another flower, go to another flower. Like in the material world, we are going from one pleasure to another. But when the bee comes to the lotus flower, it goes inside the lotus flower, starts drinking. It just doesn't come out. So much so that the entire day the bee is sitting there, and in the evening the lotus flower is closing. And when the lotus flower is closing, still the bee is sitting inside. It doesn't want to come out. Like that, when my mind, bee of my mind, goes into the lotus flower of your feet, your lotus feet, which is in the heart, and when it goes in and completely absorbs there, then completely I am in bliss. And we are completely thinking of Krishna. And in that bhava, then it is revealed what is your position of service, what is your relationship with the Lord, what is your eternal spiritual form. And in that form, when you continue to serve in the Siddha there, you get to prema. Right? So this is the practical way it is happening. So we should know that we are in Bhajana Kriya. We are in what stage of Bhajana Kriya? There are 5 stages within Bhajana Kriya. What stage we are in, Gantaral, this and everything is there. So when we practically try, like somebody said, one has to personally endeavor for the mind to hear the holy name. As the mind, we can sometimes keep chanting, we hear from the ear, but the mind is not engaged. When we absorb also, when the mind hears the holy name, and there are various ways to do that, include if you go to some japa retreats, they will teach you hearing the first Hare, coming back to the first Hare. There are many techniques. And when you constantly engage the mind back into hearing Krishna, then what happens is your mind starts becoming absorbed. And slowly, the anartha nivritti accelerates and the mind starts going in. And in that situation, when you remember the Krishna's lotus feet, it destroys all inauspicious. Then it becomes Shubhada. Right? So it is said that the person who desires the pure devotional service, he should hear the narrations of the Uttama Sloka and try to engage in such listening, because that absorbs. And once you have drunk that nectar from the lotus feet, this intoxicating liquor pours into the drinking cups of the ears, having flowed from the minds of great devotees through their mouth. It destroys the imported souls of forgetfulness of the creator of their bodily existence. So it completely destroys the forgetfulness. Then you start remembering Krishna always, right? So this is actually auspiciousness. That is actually something that you get when you absorb the mind in the lotus feet of the Lord. And this is a very practical thing that you can see. And that is the reason why we are endeavoring, right? And if he doesn't do that, he absorbs the mind in just acquiring money. In the material world, people are just absorbing their mind in acquiring money and so on and so forth. Then when he leaves the world, he will go to the darkest regions of hell, right? And if a king is infatuated with his opulence and ruling power, and he is completely thinking about what to conquer, what not to conquer, this is so true in the case of many people we are seeing now in this material world. They are acting as if they are the kings of the world and they want to conquer this, conquer that. There is no self restraint, and they imagine all the money they are earning and temporary assets to be their own, but they are actually bewildered by your illusionary energy. They are absorbing the mind externally. So here we can clearly see that one whose mind is absorbed in these three things: wealth, fame, and material enjoyment, right? But he does not have devotion. If he has wealth, fame, and material enjoyment, and if he offers it to the Lord, then he is very auspicious. But if he cannot do that, then he is actually inauspicious. This we can see in the pastime of Sudama. Sudama externally is not Kushala. He is in a very impoverished condition that even his children do not have anything to eat. And his wife asks him to go and meet the Lord, who is the husband of Goddess of Fortune. He is your friend. Go and ask him something. But even now, this, if you read Bhagavatam carefully, it's a very beautiful pastime. Even when the wife says and is apparently motivating him to go and ask for something material from the Lord, he is thinking, of course, the wife is also motivating him for devotion. He is thinking, oh, if I can go and visit the Lord, then that is ultimate devotional service. So, because I am being asked to go and visit the Lord, I should go and visit the Lord. That is devotional service. So he doesn't go to the Lord to ask for something. He goes to the Lord to see him and serve. So a material impetus becomes an impetus for devotional service for him. That is an exalted devotee. Even when you have a material impetus, it becomes a devotional impetus. In that devotional impetus, he goes there, and you know how the Lord receives him. When the Lord receives him, he receives him such wonderfully, washes his feet. Rukmani Devi, the goddess of fortune, is fanning him. His clothes are torn, his veins are coming out, Bhagavatam describes. And Krishna sees him. He doesn't ask him, are you well? He doesn't do Kushala Prashna saying, are you well? You can see his clothes are torn. But he asks, after you left the home of the spiritual master, you must have accepted a wife. And even though you are in the material life, your mind is not engaged in the material thing, that I know. And hence, that means you are actually well. Right? So, and he says how we have served our spiritual master. And he narrates that how we went for the firewood, the rain came, and we were all stuck in both of us were stuck in the forest. Then spiritual master came next day morning. He said, you are taking so much trouble because for me, you are exalted students. May there be all auspiciousness. May you always be Kushala according to the way you desire. Now, this is very astonishing. The spiritual master has blessed that you will be absolutely auspicious according to the way you desire. And Krishna becomes wealthy and Sudama becomes poor. Why is that? Can somebody answer? Why does that happen?
Hare
Spiritual
Krishna.
master is already blessed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I don't know if I'm correct, but Prabhuji, when they were out collecting the wood, there was a rainstorm, and in that rainstorm, the Guru Mata had given them, I think, a poha to eat. But
That is one.
yeah, but he
Yes, that
ate
is.
Krishna's portion also because he was very hungry. He was on the tree, and Krishna was somewhere down collecting the firewood or doing something else, and he even ate Krishna's part of the poha. So instead of offering, he took away from Krishna. So he had
Yes,
to endure poverty.
that is. Yes, that is correct. That is in some Puranas. That is correct. From some Puranas narrative to teach us that we should offer everything to Krishna and we should
Yes.
not take it out. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is not there. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Correct?
Prabhu, I think
Sri-
there is one more story. I think whoever eats that, they become. There was something I don't remember. They become Daridra. I think so.
Yeah, so there are many stories like that. That is why this is very correct. You are not wrong, Mataji. You are absolutely correct. This is there in some Puranas, and that is to teach material people that you should offer everything to Krishna. But Srimad Bhagavatam is for Nirmatsaranam Satam. Nirmatsara, which if you look at it from a perspective, non-envious perspective, the depth of Srimad Bhagavatam is very nice. Sudama was always thinking, I don't want to get my mind absorbed in the material world. My mind should always be absorbed in Krishna. So let not any material affluence come to me and disturb me. And according to his desire, all auspiciousness came to him. He was in a situation where he could completely be absorbed in Krishna, and nothing of his material circumstances became affluent, and he never forgot Krishna. That was his Guru Maharaj's blessing. According to your desire, let there be auspiciousness. So now when he's sitting in front of Krishna, he was thinking, oh, if I ask a material thing, I will forget Krishna. So he was not, but Krishna said, oh, what have you brought for me? Then he took the chipped rice, he ate, and Rukmini said, two handful is okay. Don't eat more, because you cannot give him more. This is enough for this life and next life and everything. Then he said, he talked very nicely to Sudama. Sudama rested, and he went out of the next day morning. He returned back. When he was returning, you read Bhagavatam, very beautiful. He is thinking, oh, the Lord is very merciful. He did not give me any material affluence, because he knows that a devotee like me will actually get deviated if he gets material affluence. So he is very mercifully not given me material affluence. So he is very happily walking towards his village, thinking that Krishna has not given me. He didn't ask also. I have not asked. Krishna also did not give me, but I got an opportunity to have darshan of Krishna and serve. He was very happy. And how Krishna has welcomed, how Krishna gave love, he is just meditating on that and walking. So his mind is, or his desire is always that his mind should not get absorbed in material things. And when he reached his village, he saw so much affluence. His wife came running with all gold jewelry, everything came. And when he realized this is my house, and he entered, again read Bhagavatam, wonderful sloka. He says, oh, I am not an exalted devotee. If I was an exalted devotee, then the Lord will not have given me all these affluence. He would have given me pure devotional service. But the Lord has given me this affluence, and that means I'm not an exalted devotee. Now I should try more devotional. I will endeavor more in my devotional service, so that I do not become caught up in this material affluence, and I can always remember Krishna. But actually, Krishna had given the blessings that he will get affluence, but his mind will not get deviated by that affluence. So even in that affluence, he engaged his mind in Krishna's service. And in the Bhagavatam, in the purport, Srila Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur writes that the small pride that he had, that I am a renounced Brahmana, was also destroyed when he had all the affluences. And without pride, even when there is affluence, he engaged everything in Krishna's service. And by that, he became a pure devotee and went back home, back to God. So actual auspiciousness is when the mind is absorbed in Krishna, and not when the mind is absorbed in fruitive activities to attain happiness. And one neither finds satiation nor mitigation of distress. But when you are engaged in fruitive activity, you become more and more agitated, right? So the actual auspiciousness is what Krishna blessed him, that it gives immunity from all material desires, right? And that is why it is said that one who is Krishna conscious, he should not be absorbed in the body. He should be ready to give up all his earned thing for the service of Krishna, and should be completely absorbed in Krishna. And when that happens, sorry, this is going in. When that happens, one is completely auspicious, and one is completely not absorbed in the material activities. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching. Adya Khadya nahi yara daridrenanta Vishnu Bhakti takhile se hi dhanvantra. So even if one is poor like Sudam Vaman, but he has no food for a day, but he has devotion to Lord Vishnu, he is the richest person. So because he has devotion, and he is Namo Akinchana Vittaye Nirvritya Gunavrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaye Kaivalyapataye Nama. Kaivalyapataye, one who does not have any desire for material things, he is Akinchana. And he is the treasure of the Akinchana. When your heart does not have any material desire, you will have Krishna in your heart, and that is the treasure of it. Right? My obeisance are unto you who are the property of materially impoverished. Doesn't mean he can be a rich person like Yudhishthira, but in his heart he has no desire to enjoy the world. You have nothing to do with the reactions of material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, therefore you are the most gentle and master of the most. So these topics, that if you have bhakti, then you are auspicious. And if your mind is absorbed in the material thing, then it is inauspicious. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching due to this pastime. And it is said, Bhikshara Nimantra Shale Prabhu Savasthane Vyakta Kari Iha Kari Chena Apane. As the devotees invited the Lord to take his meal in their houses, the Lord took the opportunity to teach them all this topic. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his preaching endeavor, is going into the houses of all devotees, and when he is having prasad, he is going on to these topics of how devotional, we have seen the following 5 to 6 things. Devotional service is the all auspicious thing, and if one is in devotional service, then he is kushala. If he has anything material, wealth, fame, but if his mind is not on devotional service, then he is not kushala. To get this mind in devotional service, one should hear the chanting very properly, hear the pastimes of the Lord very properly. And so somebody might say, I'm only chanting 2 hours, I'm only hearing lecture 1 hour. What do I do in the other time? When we are doing external activity, if all our external activity is dovetailed towards the instruction of your guru, if you're doing some external activity, if it is dovetailed towards the instruction of your guru, then that is also, Prabhupada said, that is also pure devotional service because you are following up your devotee. So externally, it is about serving the desires of the guru, and internally, it's about hearing the holy name and the katha, absorbing the mind in that katha, and one leads to the other. If you're externally satisfying the guru, then because of guru's blessing, this is very important. Nobody can absorb their mind in the lotus feet. Only when the guru is pleased, yes, prasadat bhagat prasad. When Krishna becomes pleased by guru being pleased, and when Krishna blesses, then Mayi eva hi prabhadyante mayam etam tarantite. Then you go beyond the maya and your mind completely becomes absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. Which is what Kulashekara Alvar says. Krishna tudiya pada pankaja panjarantam adhyevu me vishatu manasa rajadhamsam pranaprayana samaye kapavada pittai kanthavaruda madau smarana kutast. Let my mind, swan of my mind, when the swan goes into the lotus flower, it goes in, puts his neck inside to get the filament. So like that, my swan of the mind, which was going out, now let it go inside the lotus feet of your heart now itself and absorb the nectar from your lotus feet, because when my soul is departing, prana prayana, when the prana is coming out, then with kapha, vata and pitta, my throat will be choked. So I don't know whether I can chant and remember you. So let the remembrance happen now itself. So by following in the footsteps of Kulashekara Alvar, by following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and today is also the Tirobhav Divas of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who exalted this principle of tirelessly working for Krishna and satisfying the orders of his Guru Maharaj. His mind was completely engaged in how to satisfy Prabhupada's orders of building the temple and distributing the books. And in recent interview, Gaurang Prabhu said this, that he didn't waste a single moment in serving Krishna. Not even a single one. We have practically seen this when we have associated with Maharaj. We have good fortune. Even 1 second you will not waste. Even when he's having prasadam, he's meeting the devotees. Even his time of rest, he's talking to some devotees. He's attending some meetings. Every second was utilized, or he's doing every day in the morning. Even if he sleeps at 2 o'clock, he'll get up next day morning. He's doing deity service. Every moment he has absorbed in satisfying the desires and orders of his Guru Maharaj, and his sadhana is deity worship, chanting, and is impeccable. So just this process, if we follow in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, footsteps of the Prabhupada and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and many other exalted devotees, then our mind will get absorbed and we will become completely kushal. And like Prathu Maharaj said, there will be no question of whether you are okay or not okay, because you will completely be in bliss. These are the topics. And finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thereby has clearly displayed, if somebody says, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his mother in very difficult condition, his father had also gone, his elder brother was also had also died, and his wife was also there. Despite it, he left the house and put his mother under despair. That despair was the biggest grace, because exalted devotees in Vrindavan, like the elderly gopis and the young gopis, when Krishna departs, Mother Yashoda just thinks about Krishna and completely absorbs in the love of Krishna. This is Viraha. And that Viraha deepens their one-to-one relationship with Krishna, that is there as explained by Rupa Goswami. So here, Sachi Mata's life is fully Viraha, and in that Viraha, she's constantly remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Damodar confirmed that, the devotee confirmed that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic that my mother is very well placed because her mind is absorbed in Krishna. So this is the secret of this pastime, and this is the secret that why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired about his mother and whether she is a devotee or not. And these are the topics he is explaining in the house of all the devotees. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And due to some technical things in Zoom, I'm not able to see you and I'm not able to project. So we lost some time. So we have gone over time. I apologize for that. But thank you very much for such an enthusiastic participation. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on this verse. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was very wonderful session, and you made us to or made us also to think on this topic, like how I really want this one word Kushala has so many connections. Thank you so much for this, Prabhu. We can go for question and answer. We have Sunil Prabhu raised hands. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful and interactive class. Prabhuji, just want to know, like when the fall down happens, what is the cause? Is it cause of offenses? Because you gave the example of the, like we want to watch the movie and the desire comes bija. So it's mainly because of anarthas or offenses.
See, generally, a neophyte devotee might get swayed by certain material things. So there are obviously previous janmas vasana. So there are some bija, and that fructifies, immediately takes the mind away. But if a slightly advanced devotee who's already chanted very well, and generally his clearing is happening, they are absorbed in the Lord. But if they do some offenses, then the desires again start, and that is called fall down. Obviously, fall down, if you don't raise up, you don't fall down. If you raise, more you raise, there is a chance of falling down. And the way to avoid that falling down is the Trinadapi verse, that if Amanina Manadena, we give all respect, we focus on the good qualities. So when we focus on the good qualities of the devotees, then immediately, and when we magnify that good quality, oh, this devotee is coming to Mangalarti every day. Oh, and these such nice. When we focus on that, then we say, oh, I am not able to do it, so my false ego goes down. But if we focus on the negative part, then the false ego starts to become more, and there is a chance that we do offenses. So yes, it can be due to past bija, and in the case of slightly more advanced devotees, if you do offenses, then all of these anarthas come back again, or at least the disturbance in the heart starts again. Even if after you have settled, you create an offense, then the disturbance starts. Then the best thing to do is to go and ask forgiveness for that from that particular devotee. I also asked the question sometimes to one of the devotees, if you don't know whom you have offended, then he said, then better you arrange a small feast and call all the devotees and feed them and serve the devotees. If you serve the devotees, you will at least realize what kind of offenses you have caused. And even if you are not able to personally meet that devotee, you will serve the feast and you will satisfy the devotees, get the blessings, that eventually you can go and beg for forgiveness and get forgive. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. And Prabhuji, another question is regarding this only. So sometimes our mind gives the excuse like, okay, this happened because of my previous lifetimes and offenses, anathas. but sometimes there is a mistake of at least mine also, Prabhu, like wantedly I will do. So what is a barometer I can check, Prabhu? Okay, this I did wantedly, or else it happened because of past lives or anathas?
So
Often.
every time we do this, it is always because of our choice. For example, past lifetime can only give a trigger. It creates a situation. It creates a desire. Whether I choose to put my mind on that desire and follow that desire or not, am I going to let my, for example, I suddenly have somebody have a desire to suddenly to smoke. Ultimately, do I give money, buy a cigarette and smoke or not, depends on my whether my intelligence is purified or not. So I always make that choice. It is hence it is said, taking your karma is optional. Some senior devotees say that. It's very interesting. They say you don't have to take your karma. Taking your karma is optional. What does that mean? If you've done something wrong, that situation will get created. You will suddenly get into a place where two people are arguing. Now you will also get into the argument and get slapped. But that situation is created, whether you should get into the argument or you should just walk away saying, oh, this is a passionate environment, I don't want to get into it. Depends on you. It's always your choice. You are not forced into your karma. You are forced into the circumstances. The way you react is always your choice. And accordingly, the karma will hit you or not hit you. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. And this applicable to offenses also, Prabhu, just to confirm.
Offenses will create circumstances which are very forceful, right? There, your choices, you can go and surrender to the devotees and start serving. Offenses will pull you away from the devotees. It will start to think, oh, this temple is like this sangha is like this. Uh, Let me not go there. Let me practice bhajan in my house. It will pull you away from devotees. If you can make the choice of going back to the devotees, serving the devotees, and saying that, oh, something in my heart is causing disturbance, let me go back to the devotees, serve them. And if I know whom I have offended, let me ask forgiveness and surrender, then everything will get dissolved. So there also you have the choice of going away from devotees or going near devotees. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Danwal Pranam. I have a question. You mentioned that if it is a neophyte, then it is difficult to control the desire, and but for someone who has done chanting, then the fall down can occur due to offense, and they start thinking maybe for a desire or situation occurs. So when you say like how many chanting, how many like what chanting, how many years of chanting would help them to sustain, not to get into the desire cycle?
First of all, I think there are two parts to your question. First, you are saying if you say how many years of chanting will make them completely not get into any desires. We have seen Bharat Maharaj till the stage of Bhava, there is always a chance of falling down. But usually speaking, when you are in the higher states of Bhajana Kriya and getting to Nishtha, usually mind calms down and you are not generally very easily swayed by material desires. Or to speak very practically, if there is too much pressure in the pressure cooker, the whistle keeps going out every time as the cleaning happens. And that is not depending on how many years of chanting or how many days of chanting. It's about how you are chanting. Sometimes you would have chanted in the previous lifetime. Somebody comes to the first kirtan, starts dancing, and he starts manifesting stage of Nishtha and others because he has done it in the previous lifetime. Some of the other people are chanting for multiple 60 years, but still they are not able to hear even one word of their chanting. So, generally speaking, it is not the number of years, it is how much cleaning has happened inside. But ISKCON is so arranged, Prabhupada has created such a wonderful environment that even the most fallen person who is in drugs or XYZ also comes in, suddenly gets Charnamrita, suddenly gets Mangalarti, suddenly gets to hear Kirtan. The cleaning happens very fast. So, generally, when the mind starts getting into Nishtha, it becomes more and more safe and it gets into Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, then it becomes a lot more safer if you don't do any offenses. If you do offenses, even from the Bhava stage, you can fall down. And once it gets to Krishna Prem, it is completely safe. Right?
So
So
So Prabhu,
Yeah, tell me.
how do you know you have fallen down? Like your chanting stops, or you think bad, start thinking bad about other people, even a tiny bit. You think
Okay.
okay.
Fallen down means what? If your consciousness has gone very much deep, you have gone to Nishtha, which means your mind is completely, or not completely, mostly stable. And you've gone to Ruchi, which means your mind goes in and you are getting pleasure. And you're going further and you're getting absorbed in Asakti. Or you got to Bhav, where you can practically see the lotus feet of the Lord. So suppose one is in the stage of Ruchi, they are getting some pleasure. So they have gone very deep, or in other words, they have gone very high. Suddenly they do an offense and their heart starts to feel envy and anger towards devotees. The mind starts becoming agitated. The mind starts saying, I don't want to meet these devotees. I want to go and go with non-devotees. I want to go away from the temple. So what has happened? He had gone very much inside. Now the mind is again coming outside like a material person. So it means he has gone very high. Now he has fallen down. So practically you can see that. But now in the Bhajana Kriya stage, if you ask me the question, whenever I chant, my mind anyway goes out. So how do I know I have fallen down? If I'm not even able to complete my 16 rounds and my mind gets agitated, every day I was doing 16. Now I am not even able to do 16. Then that is a problem. If I am lower stage than that, if I am in just sadhu sangha, I have not even started chanting. I'm chanting some few rounds, and once in a week I come to the class and I attend class. But now I don't feel like going to the class itself. And I get a lot of material desires. I feel association of devotees is better. So from every stage, there is a fall down. But generally, if you have done offense, you start developing envy for the devotees, you start developing hatred for the devotees, and you start leaving the sangha of devotees, then you know that you have done some offenses. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
So
Really.
fall down is from the level you have. If you have gone 3 stairs, second stair is fall down. If you've gone 10 stairs, then even 8th stair is fall down. Right?
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
I really enjoy your class. They are like nectarian classes, and the interaction I really enjoy. Thank you so much, Dhanar Pranam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So my understanding is fall down is also on the basis of the on which stage we are. For example, you said bhajan kiya means chanting will be stopped, and sadhu sangha, if you are on that level, then I will feel, oh, I don't even want to come to the class. So it's all according to the wave I am. From there, I will fall down. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was new for
Yeah,
me.
that is one part. Obviously, if you do offense, you fall down very much and become material. So there is a heavy fall down. You almost leave Krishna consciousness, or you do some really bad things in the temple and so on and so forth. But yes, generally, but in Bhajana Kriya, the other thing you have to understand, it's a sine wave. Bhajana Kriya is a sine wave. So, for example, Gantaral is a sine wave. So sometimes you are very high and you're chanting very well. Sometimes you feel slightly low. We are not talking about that sine wave. That is always, shall we say median in a sine wave. Even if that sine wave is happening, there is a median. When we are talking about fall down, we are talking about you have reached a certain stage and then you are coming down to almost like a material person and not being a devotee, or coming to a very low standard from that point. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
Prabhuji, wonderful wonderful question answer also. So in every stage where there is a fall down, so we right, Prabhuji.
Sorry,
So
yeah.
yeah, in every stage there is a fall down. So we'll have to be very careful in this process of devotion service, right? So that was really very wonderful. But it's very difficult also to be in this Maya world, and we are also working, and means like we are having the sangha of even the non-devotees also in that case. So it's but still there is a hope, we discussed in the beginning of the class, right? Though there is there are circumstances where we feel low, or where I feel, where I suffer. So but still there is a thought that yes, my Krishna is there, devotees are there. So that is the very motivation thing
which I realized, Prabhu. So that's very wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And
Yes.
in this case, then how we say that bhakti is easy? How to understand that?
Yes, very good question. Two questions. Very nice. Very wonderful question. So first thing is that, the first question that you asked, very correctly you have realized that even if you are in differential circumstances, you are in a very good place, because this example I always give. There are two children. Both children, their parents bought them mobile phone and gave it to them. Both are sitting in outside the house in the steps, and they are playing with the mobile phone. In one case, there are two thieves in a motorbike. They come and snatch the mobile phone and they go away. And in the other case, the parents see that the child is playing too much with the mobile phone and he's not studying, and they snatch the mobile phone and hide it. Is there a difference between these two circumstances?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhu.
What is the difference?
The difference is when the thief takes it away, it's gone forever. But when the parent takes it away, and if they find that the child is mature enough to handle it and is able to restrict the time on the phone and use it only for the right purpose, then the parents can give the phone back.
Correct. Very nice. So even though both circumstances the child has lost the phone, there is a difference. This is the difference between karma and Krishna karma. Karma means that due to your previous actions, something has been taken away. It is irreversible. First of all, it is irreversible, and it is not mercy. It is actually a punishment, right? And more importantly, then the child might hanker and become more absorbed in the material, in the mobile phone, or it might get detached. But either way, it is not going more into devotional service, or it's not going to take the book and read. In the Krishna karma means Krishna arranges certain circumstances in your life so that you get absorbed more in devotional service. So, like the parents have taken the mobile phone, like Mataji said, first thing is, if the child begins to study and become mature, he will get the mobile phone back. Point one. Point two, the taking away of the mobile phone is the personal mercy and personal care of the uh, parents, so that he doesn't become too much absorbed in the mobile phone. Similarly, Krishna is and Radharani is personally taking care by creating certain obstacles and circumstances. We don't become too much absorbed in the material world, in money and affluence and everything, right? And three, that Krishna karma usually motivates. When the child asks, why have you taken mobile phone? He'll say, you go and study, you will get the mobile phone. You usually get directed towards devotional service. This is the difference between karma and Krishna karma. When do you move from karma to Krishna karma? Can somebody say? When are you transferred from karma to Krishna karma?
When you doubted the desires for Krishna consciousness, all the work you do, you offer the fruit to Krishna.
Okay, that is one. Anybody else? That is also true.
Your desire itself is aligned with the desire of Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Keeping
Now,
Krishna in every
the
phase of
answer.
life.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
I just said keeping Krishna in center and doing our
Giving
activities every day.
internal activities to Krishna. The answer is, and this might surprise you, when you utter the first Hare in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the first time, if you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When you utter the first Hare in first time when you chanted the Maha Mantra, when you hear the first Hare, you are transferred from Maya to the care of Yoga Maya, or you are the care of Hare, Radharani. So you are
That's
completely
very
not liberated.
satisfying,
You're
Prabhu.
not. Sorry.
Said
Sorry.
that that's really satisfying, Prabhu, to hear.
And that is the answer to your question, that bhakti is very easy, right? So from an external circumstances, the child might say, oh, I am in big trouble. My mother has taken away my mobile phone, and might complain to the other child. The other child will say, oh, the thieves have taken my mobile phone. Our situation is similar. Material people are also getting miseries. Devotees are also getting miseries. But there is a huge difference. These miseries are arranged by Krishna, are obstacles, are the biggest mercy. And if you continue your devotional service, which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, you are in auspiciousness because you are under the care of the parents. And the fourth and most important thing is, parents will never do anything which will harm the child. The thief might, while snatching the phone, he might use a knife and cut the hand also. But here the parents will never harm the child. So the child is always in auspiciousness, though he is externally in trying circumstances. So bhakti is very easy, that we have to just say first Hare, and then we are transferred from karma to Krishna karma. We are not fully liberated. The parents will sometimes take away the mobile phone, sometimes take away the internet, sometimes switch off the TV. But then when we start studying and when we pass and we get a good job, then we are completely happy. Similarly, when we pass the test and we engage in the job of serving Krishna, when we get the job of serving Krishna, our mind becomes absorbed completely in serving Krishna, then we are completely auspicious. That is why Prabhupada says in his purport that when you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you are dash liberated. What is the word Prabhupada uses? Can somebody say it? You are dash liberated. Does anybody know the word?
Already?
He says imperceptibly liberated. Imperceptibly, matlab you are liberated, but you cannot perceive it. You are liberated because you are under the care of Krishna, but you are not got out of the jail still, so you cannot perceive that you are liberated. Under the care of Krishna, under the care of parents, when you become mature, you will completely be given the mobile phone. You got a job, you can buy your own mobile phone. You are completely liberated. Nobody is going to take away your mobile phone. Similarly, when you completely become Krishna consciousness, you are fully devoted to Krishna by the following the orders of Guru Maharaj. Then you will, but now you cannot perceive that you are liberated. You perceive that there is no kushala, but those who are in devotional service are kushala. Does that make sense? And hence devotional service is very easy. You just have to say first Hare. Like it is said, getting into the hospital, very easy. They don't say there is some treatment there, but it is very easy. Does that make sense, Madhuji? Does it answer your question?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for and replying to this question. We think Bhakti is easy. Yes, of course, it's easy. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
you're gone.
Do this any questions or release? Okay. Yeah, so Prabhu, we don't have any more questions or hand raise. So with your permission, we can end the session, Prabhu. Hare
Yes.
Krishna. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful explanation to all the questions which devotees asked. Preeti Vilasini Mataji, you have anything to say?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for a very, very nice class and very nice question and answer session, Prabhu. I really love the question and answer session so much. Thanks for giving us a lot of clarity. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Badaji. You and everybody else who is organizing this are doing a wonderful job of making the devotees absorb in hearing Krishna Katha, which is what is recommended. I am very much thankful for the opportunity. I pray to the Lord that everyone gets this opportunity to hear more and more, and I also get the opportunity to be participating in this Sangha. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Mataji.
Thank you so much. Prabhu.
So, dear devotees, Hare Krishna. Let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for such a wonderful session. We wanted association in future also for such a wonderful class. Again, we are really waiting to hear from you in future. Devotees, let's pay our obeisance to Prabhuji. Praise Acintya Gopesh Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining this session.
Such a wonderful
Thank you,
class.
Prabhuji. Koti Koti Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
Only for one world, Kushal.
Kushal Jai. It will all be Kushal.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.